Hi, good morning and Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Raquel and this is my podcast. I want to thank all new and returning viewers and like I said before, Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2017. Today's episode is again not going to be the usual format. I put up a small episode yesterday with the year review for 2016. I plan on doing that at the end of this year as well. That is if I'm still podcasting, and probably will be. I'm really enjoying this. So, for any new viewers who don't want to go back and look at all the episodes, I thought I'd reintroduce myself a little bit. I won't go into too much details. You can watch the first couple of episodes for that. So my name is Raquel. I live in Porto, in Portugal, which is the north of Portugal. I have also lived in Holland and in South Africa, and that is the main reason I do my podcast in English, because I'm most comfortable with this language, even though I do speak Dutch and Portuguese fluently. English is my, I don't want to say preferred, it's the language I feel most comfortable in, so that's also why I podcast in this language. I can express myself better in this language. So, I have 2 dogs and a cat, and I like to knit. I do occasionally crochet. I like to do cross stitch, which I haven't done in quite some time, but I'm hoping to pick up again this year. I started spinning for real last year. I've had a spinning wheel for a couple of years now, and only last year did I really produce any yarn worth that I really felt that I could actually use to knit something out of. I haven't actually knit anything out of it yet, but I will. So for today, my plan is I can show you my blanket that I'm working on, which unfortunately I didn't finish by the end of last year, which was my plan, but I have until the 6th of January to finish it now, so that I can make it my 2-year project. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then the idea is to tell you about some of the knit-alongs I'm planning on hosting this year. Some of them will have prizes, others won't. They'll just be for the fun of it. And then I'll show you some of the projects I plan on knitting this year. That might, of course, all change throughout the year, but at the moment these are the ones I really would like to knit this year. So we'll start with my whips, which is my blanket, which is right here, and I have the square to finish, and then 2 more, so one over here and one over here, and I can do the 2 corner squares like these, 2 big corner squares. So I'm going to put that to the side now, and one of my dogs is probably going to jump right onto it, or the cat, I mean. They all seem to like it very much. So, okay, that was the finished, or the works in progress. I have a pair of socks I'm working on that I showed in yesterday's episode, so if you want to go see what they're like, you can see them. Go check that one out. I don't have them here with me to show you. So, let's start talking about knit-alongs and the patterns I'm going to be knitting, as they're kind of related to the knit-alongs I'll be hosting this year. The first knit-along I want to host is, and that's Rusty barking because he heard some noise in the hallway. Rusty? Rusty? Come here, Rusty. Come on. They're back. Rusty might make an appearance. Come here. In case you saw that thing flying past me, that was Soot, the cat. Come on, Rusty. No? Okay, fine. Rusty's here. He wants to jump up, but he doesn't want to jump up. So, knit-alongs. I have planned to do 2 year-long knit-alongs, and in principle neither one of these will have prizes attached. They're just for fun. The first one is a stash busting knit along, so the idea is to use up all your yarn from stash. For this one, I'll add all the rules and all the rules and stuff in threads that I will be opening as soon as I finish filming this podcast. Here's Rusty. He's a little Yorkie. Hello. So, the stash busting cal will basically be, you can show any project you make with yarn bought before 2017. So anything up to 31st of December 2016 counts. And you know, whips are allowed for that one. Not a problem. I'd say whips that are more than 50% done. Well, actually, you know what? Any whip is allowed, because this cal is not going to have any prizes attached to it. Then the other year-long knit along that I want to host is a blanket along, because I'm planning on making two modular blankets. The first one is, let's see, I've got pictures here. The first one is a pinwheel blanket. I got this idea from Mina from the Knitting Expert, and she, what do you do with it? She came up with a pattern, and she has a pattern for sale, but I found one that's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's called the Country Quilt Baby Blanket by Karen. And that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to use, I think this uses slightly heavier yarn than what I'm going to be using. Yeah, I think this uses worsted yarn or something. I'm going to be using my sock yarn. I have a whole bunch of sock yarn left over from the blanket I'm finishing off, and then I have a whole bunch of sock yarn that I knit up last year, so I'm going to be using those. Then the other blanket I'm planning on making is Friesland or Persian Dreams, either one of the two. I might even use some patterns from one and some from the other ones. I'm just trying to find a nice picture here to show you. This is one of them. So this is Friesland. And I had originally planned on making this in blue and white, but instead I'm going to be using, I think this is written for fingering weight or sport weight, sport. I'm going to be using a chunky yarn. It's 100% natural wool, sourced here in Portugal and spun here in Portugal, and I'm going to be using that in just brown and off-white. Okay, I don't have a picture of the Persian Dreams, but if you go onto Ravelry and type in Persian Dreams by Janice Reed, you'll see the pattern I'm planning on knitting. Now I'm doing this 2 colors, and eventually I might do this in all the colors that she's done as well. For now I'm just doing the 2 color one. So so those are the first 2 cals I'm planning on hosting. So neither one of these are have prizes related to them. They're just for fun, and they're both year long. So they're starting today and they end on the 31st of December. Then I am planning on doing some designer cals, and that means I'm focusing on one designer for the duration of the cal, and I'm planning on making these cals last 2 months. And maybe longer, depending on the designer and how many patterns they have and all that. So the first one I'm going to do is the Stephen West knit along. So and any pattern goes. And for this one, you have to be a member of the group to join in. No works in progress are allowed. and I had some other rules. I'll put them in the group, in the forum, and sorry, on the thread. I'll open up on Ravelry in the group. So my plans for this knit along, and this will have some prizes. I don't know what yet, but probably I'll make some project bags and some stitch markers, and maybe someone out there wants to donate some prizes as well. We'll see. For now, I'm gonna start this today as well, this knit along, and I'm gonna run it till the 28th of February. So it's gonna be 2-month knit along. And my plan for this knit along is to knit Stephen's most recent, or one of the most recent shawls he's come out with, which is the eyeball shawl. And that's what it looks like. I already have my yarn picked out, and I think most of the patterns I have here at the moment can go into my 2-year-long knit alongs as well. Well, this one no, but most of them can go into the stash busting knit along as well. So for this shawl, I'm planning on using this is for fingering weight, but I don't have fingering weight in the quantities he wants in the colors I'd like to use. So I'm going to use lace yarn for this. I'm going to be using the Drops lace, which is alpaca blend, and I've used that before for the exploration station, and it came out quite big, so I'm happy to use that again. And then the other pattern I'm planning on doing for the knit along, I hope, I don't know if because this eyeball shawl is quite a big one, I don't know how long it's going to take me to make, is the Barndom, which is a shawl again by Stephen, and which I've wanted to knit for quite some time. So yeah, those are the 2 shawls I want to knit so far for this for the first 2 months then. So that's a knit along starting today and ending on the 28th of February, and I'll put all the hashtags and all that in the thread on the Ravelry group. Then I'm planning on, after the West Knit, see how that goes along. I really like the patterns by Johi Locatelli and Vera Välimäki, so I'm planning on doing a longer cowl for those 2, because they design in, they have quite a good partnership between them, and they have quite a lot of patterns out. So I'm planning on maybe doing a 4-month knit along for those 2, because they work together well, and that way you can do patterns by anyone, and any pattern goes. It doesn't have to be shawls, it can be any sweaters. The same goes for Stephen West. Any of his sweaters, any of his hats, whatever. I'll eventually put up a finished object thread, and yeah, just post whatever projects you start and finish in that time frame of the cowl. So my plan for the Johi and Vera knit along is going to be Breathing Space by Vera Välimäki, and that's this one. And I have yarn for this as well. I bought hedgehog fibers for this, and thinking I had enough, but apparently I don't have enough of the main color, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and if necessary I'll do the bottom edging in a different color, it doesn't matter. And then another pattern designer I really like is Lisa Much, and she has mostly shawls as well, and some hats and accessory like mittens and cowls, and that would probably be a 2-month one as well. But those are all going to be more toward, we're going to start off with the Stephen West one for now, and I know a couple of people at least wanted me to host one because they wanted to do some Stephen West patterns, and this was a great way for them to do it. So I'm going to open up all the threads for these 3 cows. If you guys have any ideas for other cows, obviously there's going to be the sock cow again this year in March and in October, so be prepared for those. So in principle, those months I won't have any other cows running at the same time, so we can focus on socks. But if there's any other knit alongs you want me to host, let me know. either here on YouTube or on the Ravelry group. You know, comment on this episode or just drop me a note, whatever. So yeah, that was the idea for today. Like I said, not a regular episode again, just a really short one. And I hope you guys, you know, have a nice day today. Start the year off great. Do a lot of knitting. I plan on trying to finish this blanket I'm working on today. I hope. We'll see. I think I can get at least the other 2 blocks and maybe one of the corner blocks done. Maybe not. It depends. I have quite a bit to do. I have to go back to work tomorrow. Unfortunately. I mean, really. You know, life. And like I said, I have 2 dogs and a cat that need some attention as well occasionally. And I have some... I'm going to prepare some meals for the rest of the week, so I don't have to worry about that when I get home after a long week work day. So I think I'm going to leave it here for now. Next week we'll be back to regular podcasting, and I hope to have some finished items to show you then. If not, I'll have my works in progress to show you. So yeah, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!